beautiful Tartarian hunters, Cambell and Kelly here. We are just about to introduce you to a very special edition of Tartaria Australia as we continue on our quest to wire and fire and support our Indigenous, making the moves that they need to make right now to address Canberra and this gathering that's happening at the Tent Embassy in January, and also to start collecting the stories and the wisdom from our elders before it's all lost to us. So Cambell and I just did a beautiful interview with an Indigenous, he doesn't call himself an elder, but you'll see he's pretty much an elder. He was, so his name is Gubil, and he spoke to us for the last 2 hours, and you're going to be very touched by the stillness and the presence in his energetic as he communicates with us. So I'm just getting on with Cambell right now to introduce this. So we've got a new quest ahead of ourselves, Tartarian hunters, a new quest. So, you know, we've fallen into a wiring and firing with our Indigenous, and quite fitting, because here we are championing the deprogramming of history, championing the rise of our sovereignty. Here we are championing for truth, love, and light. And in accordance with that, here we are playing hopefully a significant role in working with our Indigenous and Aboriginal people to get the truth and the unification supported and facilitated here in Australia.
Indeed, guys. Again, we've landed right in the middle of it. You know, we knew that this Crystal City quest was important, but we didn't realize that it was really just there to get us in touch, right?
Yeah.
With the originals. That's
yeah.
what it was all about. And that's still going to go ahead mid-year, but I think that may turn into something more like a corroboree than the way we're going. So yeah, I mean, guys, you're in the right spot. This is all happening. Australia is obviously the hot spot at the moment, and this is all about original law, LORE. We know this, right? Wiping out the LAW. And so, yeah, listen to this, to Gubil's words, very, very wise words spoken in a very simple way that we can all understand, which is what we need to get back to, right? So some truth, because the truth is simple. If it's complicated, it's not the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, guys, please share this around. We want to get it out there. We want to get this message out. And like Kelly said, we're going to be documenting all these stories from all the elders and basically get it out, right? Get it back into the consciousness. You know, so it's a very significant role, really.
Yeah.
And we're obviously very honored to be here. Again, we don't know how we got here, but we're happy we are. Well, so please, yeah, guys, listen to the wise words and yeah, support in any way you can.
So Cambell, it was really nice, this interview, because Cambell did all the talking for once, Cambell and Gubil, and it was really nice to watch two brothers in communication from my perspective. So here's the quest, guys. We're setting up another campaign, another fundraising campaign, and like we might be doing a few of these years. It seems to be unrolling this way, but here's the plan. So Gubil made contact with us because he is very aware of what's going on in Canberra and was very driven to facilitate getting all the elders from the Queensland area, the islands, the rainforest to Canberra to participate in this gathering and to be in communication with the tribes. But as you can imagine, that's literally a logistical nightmare. So instead of actually like trying to figure out how we can transport and pick up everyone and transport everyone and get everyone home safe and sound, because our elders are elderly now, and it's, you know, we're racing against, well, we would say time doesn't exist, but we have got that element where we want to facilitate them speaking before they pass this realm. So the idea has come about that we actually raise the funds to support Gubil in getting a vehicle sorted, just like Cindy, and that vehicle will be a mobile Zoom studio where he is willing to drive the long distances to go and sit down and make conversation with the elders and the tribe members of that area, capture it all on video, and then podcast with us. And at the same time, we're going to put a call out to Canberra. So this is for you guys in the audience. Anyone in Canberra from our audience, we actually need some help right now, because the plan is to set up an outside permanent screen at the tent embassy in Canberra and beam in the elders that Gubil is speaking to the tent embassy during this gathering. Now, this has never been done before. No one's ever tried to use Zoom in this way. No one's ever tried to Zoom in the elders and at the same time collect this significant languages, the significant stories, all the magic that we have been learning about in Tartaria, all the truth, all the original laws. Like, if we don't take the action steps now, guys, to support Gubil and others doing this job, we are going to lose this information. And we spent all year getting so close to understanding this information that it is now fallen on our shoulders to launch another quest to help our elders not only be in communication with each other during the significant event in Canberra, but to be in communication with us. So that's the call out. We're going to have another link down here, another fundraiser. So we are looking for a vehicle, preferably a van. So we either raise the funds to purchase it, or someone in our community may offer it. We are looking for some computers, some laptops. Again, we either raise the funds or we ask if anyone wants to contribute a really good working laptop, nothing that's broken or full of, it has to work, with a camera. It has to
be less than a year old, so it can do everything.
And
video camera.
And we're going to support getting a screen up permanently in the tent embassy, and tribes all around Australia will be able to use this screen once it's up. This is going to support all of the tribes across the realm. And we're going to do it and also support Gubil in his data and fuel, because I mean the driving around Australia to do this is significant. So that's the quest, that's the mission. No one's ever done this before. We're just going to like go wild and put it out there. So that is the fundraiser today.
Exactly. So, and like Kelly said, this is about saving, you know, wisdom and a language that if we don't do it now, it will be gone. It'll just be gone. Like it won't be retrievable, or at least, you know, not easily or for a while. But so guys, like Kel said, if you have any, you know, good computer, you know, equipment, if you know anyone who, you know, runs a shop or a business and they have all this kind of stuff and are willing to, you know, donate or whatever, you know, contact them, please. Because what we really want is, you know, Gubil's accepted this, he's taken on the challenge and he's prepared to do it. So we just want him to have a good van that's not going to break down, you know, with some air conditioning, to have food, to have petrol, to have good equipment, because we don't want him running around breaking down, not being able to, you know, record. That's just going to be a mess. So it's got to be all good stuff, all under a year old as far as electronics. And yeah, let's get him set up. And anyone who's in Canberra, you know, basically the 10 embassies there, but you know, we've got Cindy there, but we've got a lot of people who don't necessarily know how to set up all the tech. So what we really need is, you know, one or a couple of people who could go down and help them just set everything up.
Just for a day.
Get the screen set up, get the computers, integrate it all. You know, so if there's anyone who's techie out in Canberra, please contact us. And what we will do is we will put an email address below. We'll probably open up a new one, I think. We'll put an email address below. So if you can help out at all with any donations as far as, you know, cars, equipment, please let us know. And there will also be a link, guys, if you know, if you can just contribute with a bit of cash, even if it's $1, you know, it will be greatly accepted. You know, if it's 1,000, it will be greatly accepted as well.
I mean, what's a bit of cash, Cambell, right now? Seriously, what is a bit? What's 20 fucking bucks when we're talking about?
At this point in time,
Yeah.
Seriously, like, exactly. What are you saving for?
Yeah. Really, because this
Like,
is saving our futures. This is saving the future for our children. This is you investing in the truth, love, and light shift for your kids. Like, there's nothing more important to like really spend money on today. You know, I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. Like, it's these decisions that we make now that are going to be the keys to our future based in truth, and our future based in the right language, vocabulary, vibration, frequency, all of that. So, you know, how much is it worth to you? Because that's what we're putting out there.
Yeah. And it's a choice. We've all heard of the split, right? Guys, we choose with our energy and our intention. So everything we do, we're going to choose. And at some point, you're going to be in a place where you're just in that timeline. So this is the choice time. So like, you can have savings in the bank, or you can be saving something.
Yeah. Beautiful, Cambell.
Money. So the choice is yours.
Absolutely. Yeah. Savings in the bank, or you choose to save something. I love that. Savings in the bank, or you choose to save something. So right now, Tartaria Hunters Australia, we are choosing to save something. And that is our quest today. So without further ado, let us introduce you to a magnificent, beautiful spirit that's here in Australia today, who very rarely, I don't believe hardly ever, speaks on camera. This was probably a first. So without further ado, let us honorably and with deep respect hand over to our discussion today with Gubil, Brother Gubil.
Love you all, guys. Enjoy.
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, Tartaria Hunters, Tartaria Australia. I'm in the house with Cambell, our co-host with the Tartaria Australia and Autodidactic, and we are joined by a very significant guest today. We are joined by Gubil Jungala Wangu. He is here to talk to us, to the Australian people. So I'd like to say welcome, my brother, and thank you so much for joining us. It is our honor and pleasure to speak to you. How is your day so far?
Lovely, thank you. Nice and sunny over this side on the East Coast. It's been troubling times for all. Most of all, it's I struggle to find our humanity, our right for freedom, our voice for freedom. We, the people, have a choice to stand as one. The unification is what we're looking for. And I found that love is our way forward. Don't be divided in what has come of this sister part. The thing that I found most of all was people feeling that they had no choice. Because it's us, the beings, the spiritual beings. You are all spiritual beings. You have the power to manifest life. We look after life. We look after each other. We look after the earth. That's our garden. In saying this, the things that are in the garden, the plants, the animals, the things that walk, crawl, and swim, we all need each other. I found sitting amongst the trees, how not all trees are just one species. We are the same. We're all not the one in the say of color, but they all breathe. Everything that has life is our duty of care to look after, respect, and harness, because it's the fuel of our fire. the soul. The soul holds the spirit. As in the spirit, this land talks to each and every one of us. We all forgot, it seems, to come out of the four walls, to walk upon the land. That's our church. Man itself has been displaced in belief that a building gives its power. Its power comes from the land, the mother. In my lingo, abo. The people must stand together, love each other, find a way forward instead of finding separation. The system needs that a way in to divide our love. The thing is, love your thy neighbor, because they have hidden secrets to tell you. As my father had said, do not hate the people that are coming home. And I asked him, what do you mean home, Dad? And he said, this is our land. This is the Holy Land. What? You know, I thought the other side of the world was everything. They all have stories. They're like turtles coming back in time. And in doing that, and knowing this, I sat, and I did not want to have hatred in my heart, which a system, you know, gets stronger and flourishes with that. It's the unknown. When you don't know something, you hate it. Sit down, know each other. Fear, don't give rise to it within inside you. My best friend, no, I still look for him today, but I don't know. He was a Vietnamese mate, and in that, my father, you know, went to war and did all that stuff, and he was so angry with me. I grew up with my stepfather, you know, Balanda Tartaria but he should look at life too and understand which to get to where I am now, because he had bestowed upon me and said after on his bed, here, love you, son, even though I was not his genes, but I loved him as a father. But he was my dad, and my father, he was the one who walked and listened to the land. And when I did get to meet him later on in my life, the understanding where he walked and where I stood. So I hand you the mantelpiece. What mantelpiece that? And he said, mankind's love. Know that, keep that. Everybody's coming back home, but they do not know why. Why do they come back to a place called Down Under, the Holy Land? No, you know, was it really, really something to hear from him, but confusion set upon me. So then later on in life, I went for that walk journey. Went to the heart, went to the west, went to the south, lived in the cities, but I did not be fulfilled. Walking in the buildings, yeah, it felt nice, kept warm, but I felt so alone. I was in Melbourne for so long, and it was, I think, about 4 months without, you know, Mexican weather, all right, but never seeing the stars and feeling the cold and the wind.
Yeah.
And the people, when I was working there, all you were doing is just running around like ants. Well, just hurry up. You could see your friends on the streets and you just wave to them. when they wouldn't just look at you.
Yeah.
So I was baffled by that. I was confused and I said, why, you know? And, you know, I went, my other friends, I lived with an Indian brother, and he told me some of his stuff. His way of life from his country to here. And he talked to me in the same way, you know? Yeah, we find comfort in our color, you know, and it made me confused. And I said, well, what's the color of love? It's the way you feel and look towards somebody. You're warm. I said, the fire keeps us warm. It makes us strong in the sense of that, you knowing you can share the air that we share. We share this planet together. Humanity's at stake. Our right to survive. And the stories that need to be told. And when it brings to me this journey towards Canberra, I went to the place, Canberra, checked it out. It was a lovely place. But I saw and felt uneased. The only time I felt peace is when I was in the garden, you know, which was so built up with negative energy, for me anyway. I don't know for others, but I speak for me from my heart, from the spirit of this beautiful land that we live upon, that supports our way of life. The good foods, we must put love into the food, the soul cooking, you know, you eat something, you give it with love when you share that with others. And you'll find that the cook will eat less because he feeds off the energy that the people have said, gee, that was beautiful, thank you. How did you cook that? What was the secret? He prepared it for you. And he did this with love. You know then, and as we've all cooked it one time or another around the kitchen and fed our family, we didn't eat as much, but you made sure your family had been fed. And the compliments that you would get, and you know, you wish you could do it again, and you kept on doing it. Cooking, and there's a time when we all just go silly on cooking, you know? Preparing foods and trying different recipes, the spice of life. Get out there and see the world. I said, yes, but the world is here in our backyard. We are the diamonds in the rough. The beauty shines within. It's the knowledge that we learn from each other makes us shine, to share. And from this, I have learned, don't keep hatred and fear that will divide humanity. We've all felt pain. We know what pain is. And those who come home, my bless you for coming home. You're here for a reason. This is your time. This is your right to fight for your spirit of your bloodlines throughout this world that came back in time. One of my journeys when I lived in Perth, and I, you know, jumped off the plane. The guy that I stayed with, he knocked, you know, like shocked me when he said, "I'm a racist, but you changed my eyes, Damien." Ah, true. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? You know, I was working for him. He had a company working, car cleaning, and I think there was a test because there was a bag of money in the back. You know, and I cleaned his car because he was renting, you know, renting cars and that sort of stuff, you know. But there was a test when I was cleaning, and there's a big bag of money, and I walked in straight in and said, "Here, someone left this bag of money here, so I just let you know." And that night, I was only just thinking about it last night, you know, where was the test in life? for him to say that to me and live in his house, and he just said, you opened my eyes to compassion, understanding. Sat with him. And if I was to go back that way today, my house is your home. This land is your home. Sit down with the people. It's just fear that divides us, not the unknown. Well, don't be unknown. Be known. To see you is to love you. Come, sit down at my fire when it's cold. Feel warm. When someone needs a feed, it's not the money that you eat, it's the way you share your money with life. You know, I've walked, travelled, but I really like to walk because I want to see this beautiful land. When we jump in the car, we miss all the beauty that has been here. And asking you, hey, have a look at me. And sit and watch this place change. As we see the desert changes, it's so harsh. But there are stories to be told when you sit there and listen and you watch the animals and the people, how they react to each other. But spiritual people, we love. We love for you to live life. It is sad when the person hasn't had the chance to understand who we are. We want to share that instead of being pushed away into a corner and rounded up and being forced into a way that was not us. We were sitting in the garden all the time. But the eye of the beholder comes within. He sees, or he or she sees the beauty in the land. Look at this place that we live on, this earth. It's all different. In this country, we got snow. I wouldn't believe it, you know. Where Murray, he walked around the first time we went to Canberra. I wanted to see the snow. You know? So then to see a dust storm. Wow, you only see it, you know, overseas, but to live in the Western, the Kimberleys, a place called Gurungu, or they call it Binalula, Mullen, and Balgo. Three dreamings in one. And I had the pleasure of meeting Walkabout and seeing big red dust storm come. You know, it's like, oh, you've got everything. You want to see and tasting mother's milk. Mother's milk is the water. You could drink this water and not feel bloated. The source of life, the energy, the spirits that we would love to share with the rest, but come and sit down. Sit down and experience it. You'll never know if you never go, eh? I keep telling us, but we're frightened. You know, it's something that you see on TV. And I don't know, bugger that. I'm gonna go for a walk. Go and see the people. Go and see that mob over there. And experience why do they live there in this harsh place? But it turns each season. You see and hear the stories. Then you can read the stories when they paint them. So when I came home, back to the place called Townsville at this time, where I had grown, but I grew up in the rainforest, in a place called Murrayuppa, or they call it Jumbun. My mob that way is Girame or Girame, Warrangu, Girabel. You have mobs down on the coast, Collingham, Nawagi. Those are where I pretty much grew And Townsville to later on to know that on my father's country is Yuru. And doing a walkabout was probably one of the biggest opening of my eyes to hearing the land. And, you know, my brothers and we sit back here, you know, we want to share that, show you, talk, come and experience the love of this country.
Mm.
Each people from each area, the guardians of those areas, all those gatekeepers. Listen to them. And you walk through with peace. You're in harmony, you become one.
So what is walkabout? Is that like a coming of age kind of ritual? Because we hear, you know, most people in Australia have heard of walkabout, but we don't really know what it is.
I walkabout that I've, you know, and we've all seen on and heard, and for us, what we would call a walkabout is just going back to gathering, a big gathering for the certain times to meet.
Mm.
And in those meetings, you know, you meet elders, and these elders will guide you because they've seen you grow. They've watched your spirit.
Mm.
You know, they say it's pretty much you're understanding the seasons, the law of the land. So you go and walk. You know, walkabout happens anytime because that season changes from like the time you look there where you are and where I am.
Mm.
So it's been walkabout time. We're going to walk back over that way, meet for a big gathering. You've been chosen for this. Your level of consciousness has been awoken. So that's where, you know, without getting myself into trouble, you know, I've got to be careful and, you know, and you know, it's safe for, you know, when I talk to you about this, it's so that you not get in trouble too, and you know, because you might say something wrong. I said, oh, I heard it from this way. Nah, you've been talking the wrong way. You're not right. Oh, well, see, I don't want to be saying that to you, fella. I want you to walk straight, proper.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
it is
we've
a
definitely
gap.
been taught the wrong
Yes, well, that's what's happened, you know. And we've had to learn about life here in the mainstream. And I find myself in, like I said, the four walls. It's not me. I don't feel comfortable. I feel, you know, with nature around. You've got to have that. And your animals that are around you, you look after them. They look after you. You have someone to talk to. You know, and I feed my possum. The possum comes every night. Had a, you know, a few scars on him. Well, her actually. And you know, I see, which way, mother, how are you? You've been, you know, I was sleep downstairs, and he come straight up to me. I sit on the ground and come straight up and I, you're hungry. All right. And in hearing the talk from in, you know, it's like the wish. You know, that's where I learned, you know. I said, oh, true. So yarning in that corridor or avenue with the animals to open up your spirit, finding out how to communicate without using words.
Yes.
So it's in our mind.
Mm.
You can see someone walking, you can feel them in pain.
Mm.
But they didn't say it. But you look and you've seen it. You've walked that way. So there was communication without words. And happiness, you know, it's very infectious. You know, joy and happy, yeah, you know.
Mm.
People are too serious about life. They forget about the little things, the family, the love. But you'll put more fuel on the fire when you have hatred. And there becomes the division. And you find yourself going so far away from yourself. And the confusion is, I didn't really sit down with them. I don't really know them. So how can I hate you if I don't know you? But there again, system has said, yeah, that's what gives you strength. Distance, security. Security is strength in numbers, not division. You'll have to shoot some answers at me, guys.
Gubil, may I ask you to tell us a little bit about your bloodline and your family history?
My family history, I was from a place called Warrangu. Oh, my great-grandfather is Wombino. Wombino had a daughter. Her name was Nora. Nora and Fred. But my grandfather, his name was Ilmara. He's from the Gidamay mob, Mariapa. And my grandmother, she was from King Wombino, or Chief Wombino, or the Warrangu tribe, or in their lingo, woman. Warrangu means woman. And from top and bottom, they married through tribal law. And my mother, that was her mother. So I grew up on my mother's country. And when that part of country where I grew up was pretty much iron bark and gum trees. And they're in a little place called Mount Garnet. From Mount Garnet, I went to a place called Mariapa, which was Gidamay. Gidamay is next, close to Tully. And in that, then I didn't meet my father till years later, till I was 20, you could say 25. And to know who he was, but you know, by that time I had grown, already had grown. And I grew up with my stepfather who showed me mainstream life. And to learn that I was always asked him, where was my family, Dad? Who are they? Where are they? So I have connections to Wangan Jangalingu to know the Adani that's happening over here on the East Coast. My grandfather, the family from that side. So on my father's side, we go to Bowen or to Mackay all the way back up to Townsville. On my father's side, but as I look to the hills here in Townsville, this is Nawagi country here in Townsville I speak of, and Welkarukapa, man without a canoe or man in a canoe. Then you have the, you know, Palm Island is they say the Bulgaman people. The Bulgaman people are many people. But there's the Mambara of my brother, Walter Palm Island. He's of that lineage. And his mother comes from my country, from Warrangu. So there's a big family connection. As I would travel north to what my grandfather would, there's a place called Laura. There's family there. So there's still a lot of walking about to do to know these stories and how what I've missed out on. And I don't want you to miss out on this. Let's connect the dots. Put back the stones. Find the truth that's pretty much right in front of us. But we were frightened to ask those questions of who and how and where we fit in. But be a part of the human species, the spiritual beings of this planet. We all are. We have a role to play, to look after each other, humanity. It's really hard at this point for the women, because I find that they're trying to protect the children, but they need the man there as well.
Mm.
You know, because it takes two to make that special one child. And the system has put more money in front to say here, and to forget about the love that you two made to bring one into the world. This is where, you know, we feel heavy-hearted, because that system is trying to take away your right as a father, you as a mother. You're the giver of life. And those things have been given over to the machine to say, here, you have to do this. But without talking with your partner about this, the doing, or what's for the future for your child. The government has become the parent now.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to see,
Mm.
because after you leave mum and dad, your elders, where are they? The system made sure they locked them away, so they didn't teach us.
Yeah.
I really liked it when mum goes home and she'll say, yeah, well, I used to wrestle with that, fight with that one and argue. And I said, but now you see them when they get old, they just sit down and how you go and live life. We've got to get to that age. They said, we shouldn't fight. It's not us. It was our fear.
No.
You know, not knowing these people.
Mm.
And that was the thing that I found. You know, I marvel, you know, and a big respect for all of them. You know, you love, that's a book of knowledge.
Mm.
If they could tell you their walks of life, give them that chance. Put them in the spotlight. Because that's the seed of life that you came from. The elders.
Mm.
And you carry their heart with you. When they look upon you, oh, my son, my daughter. And I was explaining to my nephew the other day, I said, that's your nana, but at the same time, she's your daughter.
Mm.
My boy. And he come over and said, what do you mean? When nana asks you, because when nana getting older, she looks for the simple things. She ain't got, you know, when we say teeth, we call them didder. You know, and I said, you got to spoil your nana, because your nana used to spoil you. You've got to reverse that cycle now.
Mm.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah. It is, you know, not the system that doesn't spoil you, it divides you from that love that she cherished and gave you as a child. And it's sad that for those who haven't had that, but they had a person or someone they felt so close to as a nana, grandfather. And that's one of the things about going through Walkabout and knowing that you've got brothers all across this country. Then you're thinking only your birth brothers? Sure. Your sisters? You've got sisters from all walks of life. We only have to look at our DNA. When I say DNA, I'm talking about the blood types. You might have the same blood type like me, brother. So when I'm looking for blood, look there, look, you right there. You see? Look at our color. What's that? We share the same air. We share, we drink, we eat that food. Well, that's our soul connecting. Hey.
Mm.
You know, I think that was one of the biggest things, is they're able to walk around, see family, go connect. And it's not the color, not their religion. None of that matters. They can see, you know, I was thirsty, walking along. Person just pulls up, gives you water. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I wish I had water, you know. Walking, bang, water. Simple things like that meant so much. Food. When a person's on the street asking for food, there's only so much I can eat. Yeah, my brother, you have food too. You know, it's up to them what they do with that. But you know, you gave that with good intentions because you heard them. It wasn't about the color. Money, it doesn't make me happy. I know what Dad meant. He said, I'd be the poorest bloke tomorrow because it don't make me happy. I want to see laughter, people with full belly, you know, families loved. Go give that to them. You know, no, Dad, put it in the ground. We want it. No. Only so much you need. You got to make sure your family around you. So, companion. Because, like I said, going back to the trees, look at the trees. They're so beautiful, so green. They clean the air for us. Not all one trees, you know. It's just different trees, and they support each other. This is the same way. Sharing that food, support them.
Yeah, many different trees make a forest, right?
Straight up. And it's a beautiful place. And who put it there? Nature put itself together. And yet we can go into the forest and meet, greet, we can sit down and have something to eat, you know. Beautiful waters, cleanliness.
Yeah.
Waters that we're having today is not clean. It's been tainted, poisoned.
Yeah.
So the duty of care is to know what's in your backyard, the people that are there. We don't, where I am, Mount Garnet, or Warringah country, the waterways, and it goes down from our area and it goes down into Cairns. So when they have the mining up top, all the toxins flow out to the reef. Well, what have we done? The first people had advised our brothers and sisters, our neighbours next door, we have a duty of care of those people down below us, where that water runs down to, and out to the reef. We have to look after our brothers and sisters who are out in the reef, on the islands. The fish that the men are providing and putting food on the table, do they really know what that animal has been eating or fish been eating? And that's, you know, toxic stuff spills. You know, and that water is the biggest part of life for all of us. It talks.
Brother, our audience has been following the sovereign journey now for the whole of this year. We spend a lot of time debunking and deprogramming ourselves from history, specifically here in Australia, because the history we've been told, there seems to be 3 versions of it. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what's happening today in Australia in relationship to the sovereign movement of our elders and what's actually happening here in this country right now.
I would, you know, rephrase that. I mean, sovereign, you know, our right to live healthy, to know what's right, the things that can heal us is the foods that we eat. When we're cutting down those things or culling those things, we're saying You have the right to take life. Sovereign journey, they say. It's a spiritual journey. You have the right for your spirit to survive, to mold it. The system is oppressing and, molding you to hate, to divide you. It's not the churches we live in or the religion that we've been raised in. It's what's outside those doors. Nature was already here. It's our church. Understand, know that where we come from, on the land, from around the world itself, the land is your church. It fed you, your families, before we were here. So we're fighting to keep our garden alive. They say we're raging against a machine, but as the human beings are the power, are the source of building this machine. Stop, put down your tool, stand as one, unite, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. Stand up and say to your family, hey, I'm with you. Love life before the life can be vanished and taken from our sight. Because I hate, when you watch TV and save this, save that. Well, we're trying so much to save, but at the same time, they've got us in this way. We have to have this, you have to have that. When the simple things in life, you need not want, you need food, clean air, clean water, not toxic lifestyles, greed. And money is not the root of all evil. It's the way you spend it or share it. Like I said, there's only so much I need. Can I help you build your place? We sit and share and we tell stories. And I hear about stories from around the world, how they've struggled. But the thing that came in was called a government. And we give power to the government because you are doing what it says. I've never seen a government pick up a person from the ground. I've seen a human being put their hand out. Here, rise. But a piece of paper, it don't make you rise. When someone says, I love you, stand up, stand beside me. You just want to be counted. You're looking for a family. Biggest family now is all colours of the rainbow. We come from all different walks of life. And when we combine our knowledge together, we are life, humanity. We have a duty of care to everything that walks, crawls, swims. And
they've divided us well, haven't they? And I think, it's a good point that we all have a duty of care to each other and to the earth, which we seem to have forgotten. And people just sort of explain it away with money, right? Oh, I need a job. Oh, I need to do this. I need this. But in truth, that's just a program that we've been taught to believe. Because, like you said, all this food that they're working for is poison and it's killing them. All the water's bad, but they think that they need to work to supply that to their family when really they're supporting the system that's killing us all. And it's division from everything. It's division from each other. It's division from the land. It's division from who we are, from our true families. They've done quite a job on us, haven't they? And unfortunately, most of us fell for it, but we're definitely not without blame. But that's all in the past. So we're going forward now, Gubil, and obviously, your big message is we need to come together we need to understand that we're all brothers and sisters. You know, the government is not our parents or our brothers and sisters, it's each other that we need to we need to come together as one big tribe. And so there's stuff going on in Canberra at the moment, and one of the problems is, of course, is, you know, all the you guys, the elders and things, you're sort of all over the country, right? And you're not allowed to travel through borders, so you can't actually get together and have a you know, a face-to-face meeting. So I've heard that you might be going around and talking to some of the elders and helping to get this message out and to sort of help to facilitate them talking to each other.
Those hidden books are well in the corner, so I didn't want to take those elders away from the comforts of their homes. So technology has brought this forth, like you and I speaking now. You know, we can use technology, but we can take the good and the bad, and that doesn't resonate. So this part, yes, I could go sit down with the mob in the comfort of their own home, and they can speak. They feel safe. And I said, oh, well, we'll meet with another old people over here, and we sit down and have a good powwow, you know, a good yarn. Sit down, have a cup of tea, around the fire. We take some damper, we write, we have a good yarn and watch some cuddy-cuddies or our kids, children will run around. Because, you know, that's their energy too. They want to see their young ones with them. And to go to these places where they are, some of them have never traveled, you know, south. So, you know, but still people back home, you know. I don't go to the city much. And that's just the Cairns, Townsville. You know, it's very rare that I've run into too many of our mob that, you know, we just don't want to go down there because we don't fit in. That energy is not us. So the stories I like to bring forth is with their permission and what they will bring forth, the knowledge. And I can bring topics and say, how would we like to, or what would you like to see in the future, for the future, from what you've grown up with, and the stories that are still here, because you are that book of knowledge. When they, as you travel, you know, to the tip of Australia, all those people there, they're not all going to go to Canberra. But technology, and as I've spoken with some of the other brothers who want to go to Canberra, I said, that's good. But you're missing the story, the recipe. That's the secret to this recipe. You want to have those stories and empower those people that are traveling down. You are young enough to travel. My legs are too weary. My body is not worthy for that challenge, because it takes a lot of it out of you. Even when we jump in the car, on a plane, you feel exhausted. Well, you left your spirit behind. It takes another day for it to catch up to you. And you've got to resonate with the energy around you. That's what we say here. You have a couple of days of rest because you've been traveling. You know, don't just go there like a bullet, poof, because you're not going to jump out and say, oh, I'm ready to talk. You're exhausted. You just don't know why. You've left your spirit behind. Your soul is with you, but what's missing from the bottle is the genie, your spirit. Yeah. You know, you travel, it knocks a lot out of them old people around. You can't be there and do it all in one day, in great distance to travel. No. I'd like to see them be a part of this.
Yep.
And technology allows this to happen. You've consulted, thank you. You can hear them, you know, all these cultures around the world. We're all, you know, talking now in little, you know, spot fires everywhere, yarning up. But there's a lot of other elders that are not there too, they wish. So you go to them. You know, Muhammad must go to the mountain. They can't come to us, so we go to you. You're not left out.
Gubil,
Hmm?
how important is it for us to capture the stories and the knowledge of our elders throughout Australia right now?
Very, very important. You want to know why you're standing and why we're fighting against the machine. Your spirit wants to know.
Mm.
There's a lot of things that have been hidden from us. And only those will speak for that. I haven't got the right to speak for those things. Those people from those areas will tell you, and they'll share that knowledge with you. And you'll realize, and oh, that's why I went to that place. Now I felt, well, I was empowered there. My spirit was lifted, and I was questioned about this the other day, well, why don't you go here? Why don't you go there? So, well, I can't, because it's not a good place for me, bad place. That spirit, or we talk and run with our spirit. That's like men's area, women's area. These are up all around this country.
See, we've lost so much knowledge. As far as us who have bought the lie, but it's still out there. This is the thing; it's still there. And like you said, technology can spread this message. Because we just get fed this story, about originals and all this stuff, and that's really all we know is what we're taught in school. We don't ever hear from you guys. We don't ever hear the stories or the elders talking. It's definitely something that's been kept from us. So I mean, it would be amazing. It is amazing, right? We're going to do this. Gubil is going to be the roving reporter and get these stories out there. And I think this is what we need to do. We need new information, which is old information, right? We need to get back to the truth, and it's held, by the elders of the earth, and so it's definitely time for them to speak, I think. And thank you, Gubil, for everything you've done, and just to say, you've had some very wise words today. You're like, one of my favorite sort of sayings is the truth is simple, and you seem to put it so simply and just make it very accessible, should I say.
Life is easy if we just sit within our peace. And to hear you, you've got a lot of love in your heart, my brother. Thank you. In these confusing times that are going on around us, and we worry about our families, our friends, really our brothers and sisters. It's really sad, to watch. I call it the idiot box, the TV. As the old man said, don't watch the idiot box. It teaches you wrong things. It teaches you what it wants you to learn. When I yarn you, you listen. Because this applies to you in this land. This land is your earth. You always just keep love and peace be that journey. Don't let hatred divide or color. We are one. Diamonds in the rough. We're only allowed to sit down and learn from each other. Because you'll shine me up with the knowledge that you give me, and I look back at it. Oh, thank you. I never knew that. Yucky. Christmas man. Christmas beetle. Why you want to come land on me now? Malcolm. Right. Yeah. There's so much we could learn from each other. The system only teaches you what we need to. They say we need to know and keep us in the corner. Well, I'm not a mushroom. I'm a plant for life. And I stand up and grow and watch the sunlight. It gives us strength. The energy of the earth gives us food for our soul, which empowers us with our spirit. Open your heart and open your minds. We are the oldest people. culture-wise on this earth. But there are other things that are here too, that have been with us in time. You know, paintings on the walls don't lie. It's just out of sight, out of mind. You can't see it until you open yourself to that learning curve. You are the power. You have the power within you. All I want to do is make so we're all safe. We share. We look after our elders and our children. And to look after your brothers and sisters. This is our place, our earth. We have a duty of care to each other. Don't let hatred in there and fear.
Gubil, there's a obviously there's a significant gathering happening in Canberra at the moment currently, and Cindy's down there, and January looks like people and elders from and brothers and sisters from across Australia are making the march down there. How significant is it for us to be able to help you beam in the elders from your area to this gathering? How significant is that?
Well, there are those elders that have done that trip, but they won't do it again. And those elders that are there, you know, they see them on TV. Hey, I remember that sister, that uncle there, that old man there. We've been walk here, and then ignite them and bring back that memory why they stood there, why they're standing there. But the love, and they stood together. And as I said, you know, it wasn't just one mob there. It was all different colors there. You know, but those who can be there, be there. Know that your family back home, we've got to look after you. Everybody's traveling back there. Well, who's going in your backyard? So you've still got to have people at home. And they'll share that stories together, knowledge. But converging on Canberra, I'd love to be there. But first I've got to look after my backyard. I've been away from it for quite a long time, and I need to bring this forth, the stories. Like, it was very heartening to see, disheartening to see when you have, you know, Wanga Jingalingo, the Dani stuff that's going on there, and the desecration that's still going on there. The artifacts, the mines are just there. Hey, you said them, you know, we'll leave you fellows alone if you only know our laws. Well, we know your laws, but they're still ripping it up because of what? We're ripping, you know, I'm just hearing from my brother Adrian Birragubba and watching what's going on there. I haven't traveled there, but to hear what's happening is like really saddening. Desecration going on around this planet, down in the last planet of all, the last place of all, I should say, is the ancient base, the backyard. All them stories there.
Yep.
So that technology and for our elders to beam down to there and tell that story of their backyard here. And we've got other family members that are going down. I said, yeah, that's my uncle and my auntie there. That's my niece, my nephew. That's my mob there. You know, and them fellows, you know, they stand up strong, real tall and proud of their family. You know, I hope my family's watching me, you know that I do this walk for them. Not only for me, I carry them with me. Because they watch my back as I walk down to you. And then when I walk back to you, they're watching my back. But it's a knowledge. That's how, you know. I said, oh, well, you fellow watching me? They will be watching you. You go. But you take these warriors, they need to learn this journey. I just don't want to be dragging old people around. young ones around. They're not ready for it. And we don't know how the system's going to, when they're especially talking about martial law and that, I thought, oh, bugger that. I was being trapped in the Rocky Rivers, down south, and all that stuff that's happened. And we're in unsettling times within our spirit because we don't know, but we have to stand together, like-minded family, and find strength, guidance. Yeah, you're right. I've got your back. You're right. I stand with you. All right, I'll walk forward. I'll take the hit first. You just watch my back. And that's what we do. We look after each other because you're standing straight up, straight down. We stand for the truth. We have a right to know the truth. Not smoke and mirrors. You learn as you go on this walk to Canberra, but I know that I'd love to be there, but I know I have to be home. So heart's torn in two. But yeah,
we have a very big job to do. I think it's to facilitate all the elders is huge. So we're glad that we've got you up there, because it's such a different way, just listening to you speak, it's such a different way, than we've been taught to see life. It's just it's just so different. And it's a message that needs to get out there. It's a truth that's time has come, if you want to say it that way. So I think it's going to be amazing, just getting out, just the messages and the points of view, and how your culture sees life and interacts with each other in the world. It's just, the more I hear you talk, the more I'm just going, oh my God, I'm so programmed, and I don't even watch the idiot box. So we can imagine where some people are. So, it's definitely, we both, we all want to say, a big thank you to you for what you're doing. Because I think, we all know, right, we're at a very pivotal point in history, and I think, this is really going to help change, our reality of what's going on. We need to open our eyes and realize that there's another way, that's a better way. So I think we've got some amazing times coming up in the next month. It's
especially here in Australia.
I'm actually excited.
Especially here.
Are you excited? Do you see big changes coming? Like, how do you feel about all this, Gubil?
I feel very big changes, yes, because now that you can, I say the buck stops with us, guys. Do we want to see this Earth vanish, population vanish? Our rights have vanished? Oh, not me, and I'm quite, there's a lot of others out there that didn't sign up for this. We want life to go on. If we were to know that this was going to happen, I don't think would have had children. If you think about what was going on, if he knew this well back in the day, that we're going to go and do this. Well, what was it? What need to bring forth life, to look after this planet, if that's what they're going to do. But I say, we're all star children. We're all part of the rainbow. We stand together as one. You watch the strength grow. The energy that you receive from each other. We are strong. I don't know if are we scared to stand together because we are so strong? Are
we scared of who we are?
Yes. How powerful we really are. When you can witness it when a town or a state, and they support their teams. Look how that energy, Now this here is a big energy as well. This is us. For those who have and who haven't, you have a right. Do what's right for humanity. to keep life going in its purest form. And that there, to look after your fellow human beings.
Yeah.
We are no different from the animals and the things that we're doing to the earth. And yet, really, really sad to see that, oh, we once had those animals here. We once, well, why didn't you keep them? No, we'll leave it for somebody else to do. Well, I don't want my kids to ask that question, because I already had asked that question. And I want to stand up and do what's right and fight for life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's essentially what it is, right? It's people who want life, right? Who want to live against the machine that is just death, and that's all it is. It's all it is. It tries to tell us we're dead pieces of paper. It tries to, tell us we're nothing. And but yeah, it's trying to throw that out and go for life. I mean, that's really the decision here, and it's not even a decision when you put it that way, is it? It's like, how could you not be for life?
Yep, that is true. We're part of a bigger picture. We've got the galaxy to learn. And that's where we learn from each other in the dream time, because we all meet there.
Yes.
That's another story.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd love to get into that.
Yeah, go.
Because that's the thing in Australia, we've heard all these terms, but we don't know really what they mean. It's like dream time and walkabout and all this stuff. So, but I think that's going to be the journey.
That's the
that we're in. I think that we're going we're going to start learning what all this stuff is, because we've lost our ceremony. As a white boy, we don't have any ceremony or any tradition or anything or any connection to the past. We're just so that I think that's going to be the biggest journey, is us sort of rediscovering ourselves, right?
Yeah,
and not being scared of it.
Like I said, it's a big world, yes, but to just to understand ourselves is one of the biggest challenges. They didn't want you to sit down and know who you are. They said when you start knowing who you are, they put you in the nut ward, because they have a place already, because you're starting to understand life.
Yeah, the lunatic asylum.
But no, we're all family, boss. Diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, Gubil, it's so interesting, because our audiences trace back the Australian history to the moment where Captain Cook arrived and went to war with the Indigenous that were here at the time, and after that moment happened, all the rumors we have, because they're just rumors to us as we start to uncover all of this information, of the amount of magic, the amount of unknown magic that existed within our elders and our original law keepers, and how significant our original law keepers were to the history of the whole realm, and how broad it was across the whole realm, that our original people were the law keepers for everyone. And we're just starting to uncover that truth. And I have a very strong feeling that those stories, that magic, those keys to where we come from and our true origins are going to be slowly starting to be told to us in your communication with the elders, in the stories that people are starting to share. But definitely for 250 years now, the Australian people, whatever that term even means, all of us, the rainbow children, have been kept in a lot of ignorance as to the potential and the greatness of who we are.
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box.
All the gems, the jewels, how beautiful it is. You come home and you want to know. We all want to know, even myself. I don't class myself as an elder, But I want to search for the truth. And there's like-minded brothers and sisters. And there's children that you want to share this with. So they keep this now and look after it, harness it. So it strengthens them and gives them guidance as they walk forth in this world. They cherish everybody in their way. Like I said, to know them is to love them. Bring them in, sit down. Because those old people are sitting there at home and they're safe, but at the same time, they've got knowledge to be shared. But they'll share it with only those who are willing to open their hearts and their minds. Come with good intentions. As Mother Earth, you are her child. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We all go back home. We'll teach the knowledge. But I'd love to catch up with these old people, you know, and hopefully bring them forth. And they will share their knowledge with you. And as what resonates with you, it'll spark something inside of you, your soul. Well, you got people that still, you know, still out in the outback. They tell us stories, and if you go around this corner, over that hill, you see that, and there's energy there, and they talk about some beautiful things. You know, well, they'll yarn you about what's happening here, from the past, and where they are now in the future, or in the present, really. And they want to keep this for the future. So I have to, the duty of care and the respect to keep that alive for all of us. You know, from my country, you know, Gubil, carpet snake, dreamy. You know, I come down from Warrangu, come down to Herbert River, go out to the islands. Then we go stop along, let's say, Magnetic Island. You know, a place that's Captain Cook said it's magnetic, you know, his compass went wonky, you know. I was a bit, that's another thing. And go down further, your name changes. Gubil, Garble, or Garble Way. But that's just the name, but it's a spirit that I share with other brothers. There's a lot of other Gubbils. I'm only one part of my area, my country. Like we say, a gatekeeper. I meet my other brothers as I go down to north, down the coastline to Brivey. Met a brother there. He said, I'm Gubil too. Hey, too. What's your Gable? Ah, the same thing. Carpet snake. So we're brothers in the spirit dream together. And you move down further the coast, you know. But around this, would you say around Australia or Tartaria? There's a lot of stories that are hidden. But the truth be known that it's the old people that hold those stories. And not all of them will make their way to Canberra. So I want to be able to bring them to you.
Was this time prophesized, Gubil?
Whoa. What's time?
That's true. What is time? Indeed.
But for us, it's the doing, you know, like, you know, we don't hold time. We hold space. Time is just an illusion. You wake up in that space. That's why, you know, I don't find that time resonates with our spiritual beings. Yeah.
Definitely an man-made construct.
Yeah.
So what is this date? A lot of people won't know there's a significant date in January for all you guys, which is basically why the Canberra, everyone's starting to gather in Canberra. So what is that date?
The 26th.
Yeah.
They called, well, to us, it was an invasion day. But today they actually told lies. That's the day they implemented. We celebrate that day of invasion. What for? These were here before that. So why do we celebrate that day? Because they had landed here well before that.
Yep.
It's like most of all, it's the embassy itself was against the tyranny that's still going on to suppress the original people of this country. And it is the big thing that's happened, is that gathering. Them warriors already are down there, they've been called to the fire. And they'll go for us first. It'll be our younger ones who'll come back and finish it all off. They'll put the icing on the cake, so to speak. Like our forefathers before us when they put the embassy up and stood for all this country. Like I said, if you looked at the back of the videos or the old stories, it wasn't just black fellas. It was white fellas too.
Yeah.
Could have been all different races there. We just seen that it wasn't right. Humanity, where was our place? Where is our place? Seen and not heard? Now they want to know, can you understand? Yeah, we comprehend. We don't understand, we comprehend. Because they don't give you the power to stand over me.
Yep. Exactly.
But they never want to comprehend us or understand us. So that's where the big fight there in Canberra is. To understand the policies and procedures. What is it? They keep moving the goalpost every time we comprehend them. So the law itself has been changed, altered so many times. But for humanity, buck stops with us, guys. We have to stop it.
Yep. Totally agree. Is there a traditional name for Australia as far as the whole landmass, or is it more just regions? What did you?
Well, yeah, I had that question too. Like that, what? Don't give rise to this machine called Australia because that supports the tyrants, the company. And I asked my brother Lewis, Mangwana land, the land of blood and bone. And I said, mine is Abo, my language, Mother Earth. But I don't know what this land, Each part of the country calls the earth a different name. I don't know if they brought it under one. It was just, earth, we just know this.
Yeah. It's a different way of looking at it, isn't it? Like, because you see it as one, and obviously, the invaders have come in and all they see and all they want is division.
Yeah.
No, this is separate from other places. You're all separate from each other, but you guys didn't even have a word for the landmass because you didn't see it as separate to anything. So, I mean, I think that's a, pretty big point. And that's, of course, your message now, right? You don't want to see separation because there is none. It's just an illusion.
Yeah. I don't, as far as when I'm growing up with, this is what they said. It was Australia. Then I asked myself again, the old people, what was it before? And what was this great big land? You know, and I don't know, but I asked my big sister. She said it's called Abel, Mother Earth. Abel. Okay. Ah, thank you. So I don't know about that far down that way because you never walked all the way down that way. Only through technology, we jump in car, fly and plane, you know. If you want to, you can be real deadly. You can jump on a boat or a jet ski. But yeah. Jump on a train, yeah. But nah.
It's a good point, isn't it? Like, so many of us think we know places because we've seen it on the idiot box. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know what that is, but we don't really. We just think we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It dictates something and put a label on it. Then you support the label then.
Yeah.
You know, and then it gives them ownership over that label.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not supporting the label in that spell they put upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spellbound.
Yeah, spell.
Everyone's spellbound.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Words are very powerful like that. They weave spells. I mean, we've seen that with COVID today. It's just wove, everyone is spellbound by it. Words are significant. And for the majority of us here in these lands, we've never known the words, Gubil. We've never known the words for our land, for our nature, for our creator. These are all things that we're starting to only learn now. Only learn now as the delusion, the deception is falling.
Yep, behind the curtain lies the truth.
Mm.
And once the veil is lifted, or it has fallen, you'll see the truth. The people are the power. Because they know that they are humanity.
Yeah.
Not the machine. Humanity brings life. Well, women brings life, really.
Yeah.
We are, like I said, we're all so powerful, we just don't know it yet. But they are rising. Everybody's rising. Like we've seen around the world. Now we've woken from our slumber. And now the people of this country, they're starting to question themselves. They've come from another part of the world and felt that they've run away from what they ran away with from another tyrant over there, only to run into it here. I really know that they want to stop this. We've got nowhere else to go. You've been tipped over the edge, or you're coming to the edge. So you're ready to jump off, or stand up and fight and do what's right. You've seen what happened back home. It ain't going to happen here because you came to a beautiful part of the country. Now it's going to turn sour, spoiled by this thing that has been called a machine. Government dictating the way we live. And it's not right. We already know what's inside of us.
Yeah.
Our compassion. We have feelings. We have the right.
Definitely.
Sure. A long way, brother.
Yeah, we have come a long way. It's happening fast too.
Yeah.
I mean, people are waking up quickly. The change is here. The apocalypse, right? The lifting of the veil. And we're all, starting to wake up and realize that, we were asleep, in a big slumber. and just not really seeing things for what they were, believing the lies. So it's time for all that to end. And you know, of course, you know, the originals are out there leading the way. And I think, you know, the main message here is, you know, we all need to come together, and we need to understand that, you know, we are family, and the powers that want to be the government, they're clearly not. They're not part of our family. They're not out for our best interests. And all we need to do is ignore them. Really, if we just all stand up, you know, it's like you said about the football field. You know, imagine if you had 100,000 people in Canberra just, you know, making noise. I mean, that's all we need, right? And so this doesn't need to be a war and a fight and all that. We just need to go, no, we're for life, and this is what we're doing, and we're not going to listen to you guys anymore. And I think that's pretty much where we are. And it's that simple and that hard, right? You know, it's simple, but not necessarily easy for a lot of people.
You know, no, even those guys that, you know, are doing the policing of this enforcement stuff, they are, you know, they've got to put bread and butter on the table for their kids and their families. You know, and they're caught, you know, like the meat in the sandwich. So, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Exactly. And yeah, I think if we realize that, and just like you say, compassion, right? Understand everyone's had a different journey. Everyone's just doing their best, really. You know, as long as they're trying to do no harm and they're living from their heart, then they're one of us, and we need to support them.
Yeah. So there's once upon a time I was going to be an AFP. I was in Canberra, and I was, you know, I thought it might be a bloody good job. But nah. It didn't resonate with me. Yeah, you know, just even when I was doing legal service, worked in Victoria for a while, in Queensland, and knowing now what the system has done and how it has really tricked me. And I was standing up, you know, oh yeah, you're right, brother, I've got your back, I can do that stuff. Then now I've learned what they taught me. I'm so gutted inside from, because what you're doing the right thing. But that's where the heat came in. So I want to do what's right. Yeah. Nobody should be incarcerated, because we're incarcerated when we're even walking around. Why? Our families will, no, don't go talk to him for a while yet, let them sit down. You got to, he's in the bad corner. You don't have to put him in the corner. You don't have to go yarn to him for a while. Give him time to understand what he had done. He's got to live with that. I'm not, you know, I don't have the right to take somebody's life. I say not only just, you know, taking one person out, it's the way they have to live life and live with us. We, as you know, animals, we push them out for a while. We bring them back in later. Yeah, they've learnt their lesson now. Come on. And if they keep doing well, push them back out. You know?
It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
I know, the prison system.
Well, yeah, that's not good for all of us.
No. The prison system, the lunatic asylums, and the orphanages, they pop up all around the world at the same time. Definitely part of this agenda, definitely.
Yes, they have had a big influence in this division, putting our strong warriors away. Because they were awoken early. When as the old man said, you know, I asked my brother, I said, how did you fellas live on Palm Island with all his mobs all together? You know, and he said, no, all the mob there, they settled it down. I said, they were the mob. I said, them old people. I said, why? How'd they do it? I said, well, we were always young little fellas once too, you know. So we knew where they were going to be. So when you know your mob, you know, no matter if you walk in the night time, we know you walk. You can't fool us. We know which way you're going to walk because we watched you grow up as a child. So when the families and the mobs look after the people of those areas, you know, we know who they are. Because you watch them go missing for a while when you can't see them, and they know they've done something wrong. So yeah, it was him. That's why he's not here. It was her. You know. They know. It's just we already had a system set in place. That's what he said. You know, we had all the mobs from their areas. Their keepers. You know, as in those law people when they're on Palm Island. He said, yeah, all them old people will come together. You know, you had Western mob, top end, bottom end, Eastern mob. All them old people were the guards. They secured the premises. They had no police over there. It was the mob itself, the old people, kept them all in line. But really, yeah, one of the ones that kept rebelling, yeah. So, you know, put to another place called Punishment Island. You know, put them on an island for a while. They said, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? So, like you said, everything was in place and it all got ripped apart.
Yeah, put them in a place and they got to a place called Down Under. But we're all too smart, we're too strong. That's why we're here, rebelling against the system.
Yeah.
That's us.
When you say system, Gubil, when we say rebelling against the system, what is this force that's going on? What is this agenda? What's happened? Who are these? What is this?
When you say the agenda, like I said, Brosby, restricting and restrictions. Who enforces it? Well, who brought it in? We, the people, didn't. And that's when I say, you know, they say the law enforcements. They enforced this upon the people. Well, you restricted them from certain things, their privileges. You know? Privileges?
Privileges?
Life,
That's what
freely.
I was going to say.
You know? It is. And they say it's a place called government that put it on paper to say it is law. But did they ask the people first? They just brought it in and said, here, this is what's going to happen. You're going to abide by it. Lump it or leave it, or we'll just get the hard whip. You haven't got the right. You've got to do what we say. So you had to be forced into this way. And that's the oppression, you know, from around the world itself. And now it's came back here. You're trying to suppress now the people of this land, really putting it. Now, they put it to others around the world as well, but really they're coming here to keep us in the corner, to take the people off their lands. So it is terra nullius, but you know, you and I know it's not some terra nullius because the original people were always there. It's just we didn't speak their lingo or their language. They brought theirs in and put that over and said, this is law. Now everybody speaks English around the world, and now I'm very saddened that I can't speak my language. It's been suppressed. My mother was unable to speak that because what was said, she went to school and had to do that. But we have technology that has recorded these things, so That's what I mean. The best part of now is going back home and learning these things, and
You
able to
learn
raise
it all.
vibration in the language of each area.
Mm.
So do you think that, sorry, do you think the traditional language is like related to the vibration, like literally, like they've stolen, the language, right? Suppressed it. So we're not speaking those words or those, that magic or that vibration, whatever, however you want to look at it. Do you see that as a big part of this?
Yes. You speak to the lingo of that land, or the language of that land. See, those animals have grown up with that lingo. They've heard that vibration there. So when you think about it, they've been watching you to tell us, hey, there's a stranger coming here. Well, how you know he's strange? He speaks a different language. It doesn't resonate with the animals. The animals fly. Well, the locals, they don't worry. We walk past them. Hey, you talk, because they're your pets, your animals. And we're saying the vibrations, yeah, it resonates with the song lines in those areas. Now we've come down. You've lowered the vibration, and you put this other vibration in, which is not, it makes it able now to destroy the people of that area.
Yep.
The vibration. And that's, how I come to see this. And when I walk, going back out, travels, and you got to speak those lingos of those areas. And animals, they don't run away. Oh, you speak our lingo. All right, we stay. And if you don't, we run away from you. So you don't get to see the beauty.
Yeah, I've lost the connection. Yes, amazing. All right, so you're going to be trying to get out there and talk to different elders and basically give them a voice, and we're going to obviously help you as much as we can with that, and get it around there, and hopefully ultimately we're going to be streaming this at Canberra as well, because that's the main point, like I said before, is to show all the warriors down there, right? The elders, yeah.
You want to know if
and get that vibe.
That's it. And hey, there's that mob still going. I thought they gone, they perished. No, they still there. That lingo, that wow from that area.
Yeah, the reconnecting of families and tribes, and
yes,
it's almost like long lost family, the way you describe it. You just imagine people, I haven't seen you forever.
When you hear that lingo, you're the child. I remember that my old people used to speak that. That's when I listen to old tapes make you cry, because I'm not around it anymore. It's really sad to hear, but it brings joy to my heart to hear it again. And when I go back and listen to those old tapes and that, it's hard to speak it because I've got no one to speak it to. So, it takes two to play this game. I can listen, record, I want some, compliance back to me, talk back to me. So it's hard to, our language is one of the extinct languages. One of the oldest languages too. Well, this part of the country, Warringa. Or Warrigo. Warrigo was a language that was going all the way down to Ballina. That's New South Wales.
Yeah.
Spoken all the way down through the rainforest. But I'm from Warringa. Yeah. And you talk about the bunyan up dreaming. I said, how far we go? Well, you look at all the bunyan ups. You don't see them all in the highways through the bush. I said, why? Well, we didn't have no toilets back then, like how they got toilets. You just stood off on the side of the road and you planted the seed. So now, therefore, you've seen you can look back yourself And you, back in through old maps, they recorded it. There was the old highway before there was roads. Because why? They used to walk the roads. Where'd you go taller? You didn't go shit on the middle of the road. You sat on the side. So in the middle, you'll see the path. All the vegetation was your path. So you didn't journey off. You journeyed beside the road. That's why I look back in old maps. I said, look at them old maps. It's showing you the country. There's the map. There's the road. There's the foods.
So
True, eh?
it's true, absolutely. So for our Tartarian audience, this is what we're going to try to help Gubil with. So this is a new quest for us, and another quest in our pursuit of supporting this shift in vibration across our realm. So what we're going to do is Gubil is launching a fundraising campaign, and the Tartaria Australia's Cambell and I are supporting it. And what we are putting out there is raising the funds to support Gubil traveling to elders all around the remote areas in his area, and then Zooming with them. So Zoomerangs, which we call them. So Zooming with them and capturing, and there's the map. This is the area. And as Gubil goes to these communities and speaks to the elders and captures it on camera via Zoom, and it allows them to speak and to communicate and tell their original stories and capture those original stories in these podcasts, we are then going to facilitate broadcasting those podcasts to the Tent Embassy in Canberra. And this is really significant because as the weeks move through to the January timeline, there are going to be more and more people gathering there. And so our aim is to broadcast these elders, these tribes into the gathering so that they can participate and communicate with each other and have a voice in this process. So nothing like this has ever been attempted before. So we're very honoured to help facilitate this alongside you, Gubil. And obviously we've got Cindy Roberts there in Canberra now. And our community has been very, very powerful in supporting Cindy on her journey. And so between Cindy in Canberra and Gubil on the road with the right equipment to go and capture and communicate with the elders, we hope that Tartaria Australia significantly helps and supports a gathering of the tribes live in Canberra via an outdoor screen and via our Zooms. So that's the plan, Gubil. And this podcast today is to launch that idea to our audience.
That's it, family. We all need to hear our elders speak. When I say elders, it's the rainbow elders, because I've hold some of the secrets, because they're still living in those areas. They're still in the mountains. They've got to go for a drive to go and see them, hear them. And when I say, hey, black fellow, white fellow, where did you way? We hold the stories. I need you to stand with me and make it a united front.
Yep.
Love fellow human beings. I don't like putting the man, human beings doing. Love humanity. Love humanity.
I know, right? New summer of love, I think, Gubil. What do you reckon?
That's all good, my brother, because it's time for the power flower to shine bright again.
That is.
Before it's time. came before its time. This is when this is what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's confusion.
Yeah.
This is what's really come to the last.
Yeah.
Stop us. You know, love your fellow neighbor.
Yeah. An idea whose time has come.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, guys, like Kelly said, we're going to be supporting Gubil and his work, and really, I mean, is there any more important work that could be done, guys? Like getting this ancient wisdom back into, you know, the minds of the you know, the populace is, I mean, seriously, is there anything more important at this point in time? So, you know, please share this video around, let everyone know what's going on, get it out there, and you know, support, give what you can. And because yeah, we need to get this done, right? We need to get the message out there. We are the creators, guys. This is the time. This is the point that we get to choose where this goes. We either get to support the system that's suppressing us, or we get to support freedom, coming together, love, and an amazing future. Right? The choice is yours, and the choice is now. This is it, guys. So, like I just said, we can make this the summer of love. Right? We do it. No one tells us. It's us who decide and us who do it. Right? We don't need anyone to tell us it's the summer of this, or it's the summer of this, or it's the summer of lockdowns. That's their story. All right. It's time for us to create a new story. So yeah, we're going to be supporting this the whole way through. We're going to be supporting Gubil and all his people and the elders from all the different tribes, and mainly supporting getting this information back, waking people up, and coming together in love, and really just saying that's all there is, guys. Everything else is an illusion. All there is us. So yeah, so just so much respect for you, Gubil, seriously, for doing, you know, because you've stood up as well, mate. You've made the decision, you've seen something that needed to be done, and you've said, well, I'm going to do it because it needs to be done. And that's what we need. Too many people sit around and say, this needs to be done, so you should go and do it. No, not too much of that, guys. Get off the couch, turn off Netflix. It's time. You know, where do you want to be in a year, in 5 years? What do you want to tell your grandchildren? In the great time of change, I sat down, ate popcorn and watched Netflix? Or do you want to say, I was there, I was on the front line, I helped change the world?
Yeah. Share your energy. Share your energy. Valued, and it needs to be put towards good, not evil.
Yes.
You have love in your heart. It's free. Don't raise fear. Don't bring confusion or anger to the table, because that's not what we are all about. Survive and keep life. My brothers and sisters, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Gubil.
Thank you.
Yep. From Warrangu. Carpet snake dreaming. Come through the rainforest. Thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Hearing and sharing your time to hear the plight of this planet and its origines. Because you stand with us.
We definitely do.
Your family.
We are.
Please.
And thank you again for standing up and being the one to say, let's do this, and for reaching out to us as well. You know, thank you for, you know, for seeing us as someone that can help. You know, we're very honored to be in this position, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna ride this to the end. We're gonna do everything we can to get this done, and with our amazing audience, we will. You know, we've got people, we can get this shared out, you know, to a lot of people and really get the message out. So yeah, guys, it starts right. We're almost at the end of the year, but let's just look at it as we're almost at the start of a new year, right? A new cycle, new choice, new energy, new vision, new world. New earth. Let's not say new world, new earth. And let's do this.
Yes.
Bring back the good order.
The good order, absolutely.
Not destruction. Life. Love yous.
Love you, Gubil. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be speaking to you soon.
Speaking to you very soon.
Just one last word I was going to say. We've been talking about, spells and words and language. If you can, maybe you could get a word that we could all learn every time we talk to you, so that we can actually start speaking the natural language of this land again and getting that vibration out there. So if that's something that you want to do, you can tell us what a kangaroo is called, or a creek, or whatever, and we'll slowly start putting that good vibration out there.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, it just changes by different terrains, They sort of all that stuff.
Words.
And I was amazed, but at the same time, it's the terrain around you that echoes the words of these animals. Yeah, so I'm still on a learning path of all this stuff. But that's another.
That's another episode. All right, my brother.
All right, we'll let you go, mate. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Peace. Bye. Peace.